welcome to Shelle's Pearls of Wisdom. I haven't done one of these in quite some time, so bear with me. I might be a little bit rusty, but I'll probably warm up really quick. You know what I mean? So I am here with several of my candy apples, and this is the first time I've actually had them all on the show together. So this is kind of cool. And we, as a group, we really have a lot of experience, from baby pinups to pinups that have been in it for ever and a day. So we're going to give you our opinion on what we feel pinup means to us. And some of us are going to share some experiences, not so nice, and some might share some experiences that are very awesome. But basically, we're going to get down to the bottom of what pinup means to at least the candy apples. So here we go. We're going to start with myself. I'm going to say that the experience being in the pinup community has been a roller coaster ride for me. I have experienced positive things and I have experienced really negative things. One of the most positive experiences I've ever experienced was at Miss Indivan, where a little Black girl saw me on stage and afterwards came up to me and said, "You look like me." That was like the best experience probably in my life, almost, besides like having my kids and all the big, but to have a little Black girl have someone that she can look up to. She's been to many competitions. She loves the pinup world, and she's never seen a Black pinup in real life. That was awesome that I was able to experience that with her. But then I have something as awesome as that to now I've been also told that I'm not a true pinup. I've been told, because I like to do burlesque now, that that's not a pinup's way, that we don't do that. And I think it's bullshit. I think that it is being very discriminating. Let's be honest. And I don't think that me wanting to dance burlesque, or if I want to wear an afro out to here, if I want to wear my dashiki, if I want to represent how my heritage was in the eras of the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, of course it's going to be a little bit different from the traditional European, because we dress different, our hair is different, our style is different. So those are some of the kind of things that I've heard from the pinup community, which kind of like struck a really bad chord with me, because I don't want to change who I am inside to fit a mold of somebody else, especially when I was told the pinup was supposed to be about being your integrity, about fighting for your community, fundraising, being charitable. That's what I thought it was. So when someone looks at something that I put out on Facebook or Instagram as a picture and tells me now I'm not pinup, I kind of want to call bullshit, because I'm a pretty good person. I always give back. I always am encouraging. I'm always someone that's supportive. And if that's what pinup is, then I am 110% true blue pinup. Whether I'm wearing a dashiki or a 50s house dress. That's just my opinion. So I kind of want to know how you guys feel too. And the first person I'm going to start with is Dawn. So I'm going to make you big, Dawn. Spotlight. Hi, Dawn. Unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi. So give us your pinup name.
My name's my pinup name is Ginger Harlot. I hail from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Born and raised in city of brotherly love and cradle liberty. I'm 48. I'm married and I have one grown son. I've been in the pinup community for just about a decade. I always say I was an old school punk rocker, and it just kind of evolved into that. But my inspiration was always my grandmother. Because she was like, she really did her hair and everything in the 1940s. She owned a lingerie shop. I mean, it was, God, there's her veil for her wedding had the V for victory in it in pearls.
Oh, wow.
So it was really, really cool. We lost that and we moved, though, long story. as far as pinup community, I enjoy the pinup community. I have had a lot of good experiences, but more or less recently, I'm hearing of others having some bad experiences, experiences that no one should have to go through whatsoever. We're all grown women, we're all grown people in this community. And when I was brought in, I thought it was supposed to be like, some kind of solidarity, some kind of camaraderie. And from what I'm understanding, there are different times the bullying still exists. Bullying exists in any community you go into with life. But I hate to say this, women especially have a very horrible, horrible habit of trying to basically, for no reason, what I call railroad someone straight out. And see, people fear what they don't understand.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, maybe they don't understand why they don't like you, or this, that, the other thing. That's something that they need to, their personal demon that they need to work on. I've had it where I was in, finally in the pinup community a few years ago, and then finally in a pinup group, and I was asked to show leadership skills. I did that. That was wrong. I'm having two people who are leaders of it watch me do the leadership skills, and then I get accused of taking off during that event and disappearing. Them knowing I have chronic pain, fibromyalgia,
Mhm.
and now I understand in the background, in other people's personal lives, there were some bad things going on, some tragic things. Those are not my fault. All I wanted to do was be there for comfort, and all I got was a call,
Mhm.
which I have to respect. You know what I mean? If you're going to do that, but and I admit in my whatever, I was late paying dues, I was late paying something else, and they got, I had explained it to the roommate I had. She wasn't really upset about it, but I got suspended the
Mhm.
right out of the gate. So 2 weeks after, I paid it up, and everything was fine, hunky dory, all was forgiven, blah blah blah. But over time, evidently, I'm getting drugged behind my back
Mhm.
over any kind of money that had nothing to do with them, money that I was going that summer when we didn't even have an event, and I was spending with or splitting with my family. No, I'm sorry, that's intrusive. But for you them to turn around and go, oh well, she had money for this and money for that, but but she had money to go, but not for us. No, 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 no. I wasn't. There wasn't an event. There wasn't even anything. Or why still after I cleared up that other thing and anything else? Or why isn't somebody sitting me down personally and going by their bylaws when I had to
Mhm.
fight to yell to be heard? My side of it. Everybody else's was okay, and most of the stuff, to be perfectly honest, sounded like some middle schooler made it up.
Mhm.
Right,
So
right.
can I ask you something, Don?
Sure.
So with that experience, just because it's we're in a group too, and we have dues the same. Um, now that Maria and I are both president and vice president of the group, we talked when we got together, and we talked about like how people are going to go through financial difficulties. That's just real life.
It
Um,
is.
especially right now with COVID, there's everybody struggling. So
Absolutely.
just to kind of give people an idea of how a group can work when we have situations where someone may have not the best financial means at that moment. When we came up with the idea of you can do donation of clothing or items, jewelry, was that something that was satisfactory to someone that might be in a financial difficult situation?
Yeah, of course. I mean, anything to, or even just the fact that I've gotten to share the events or the money that's raised or anything to do that's going on with the events we have right now. I mean, I try to put some kind of participation
Yeah.
in whatever we do. But I mean, it got to a point where I have, chronic uh pain with short-term memory loss, and neuropathy in my feet, and my health got thrown in my face.
Okay.
That is wrong. I'm
That's
sorry,
very
it's
wrong.
wrong. I don't care who you are, what you are. You're going to tell me somebody postponed one thing and they still showed up. But it's okay if my anxiety gets really bad and I wind up in the hospital and could have a stroke, but that's okay. You know
So
what I'm saying?
basically, yeah. So basically, what I'm hearing is like that group, that particular group, just needed to be more understanding that a fellow sister was struggling, and
Yeah,
instead
and
of
I think they themselves were struggling at the time with major heartbreak. And it just, I think it kind of just trickled on to whatever. I also admit that when they were doing a interview on it's like Zoom. It's the I forget the name of it.
it's okay.
A video chat thing. Um, Here, I thought we were supposed to share for the group that had gone on. Evidently, one girl really needed to keep it private because of her job. And I apologized for that. They reached out, it was a mistake. That I can admit, but all this stuff added up all over towards the end of that summer, like 3 years ago. I had wound up having a knockdown, drag out argument with the head of my club.
Oh, wow.
And it was a shame because it broke my heart.
Well,
And it,
I'm going to tell you right now, you're in a group of girls that I feel like that's the thing that separates us from other clubs. We're very all understanding. I think we've all gone through something personal that keeps us from having to maybe participate, maybe be able to pay something, you know. So I'm going to take away from your experience, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not, that Pin Up to You is just about acceptance. Pin Up to You is about
it is
understanding that
acceptance, the acceptance of everyone.
of everyone,
I
and
can stand on
all the
that platform.
situations that someone can go through too, not just the
Anything,
individual.
not just this or that or anything. Anything. I mean,
And to bring the person private to talk to them, I think that's a big thing. I don't like when people bust out people in front of other individuals. I feel like if you have a problem with someone, you should bring it to that person individually and have a talk.
yeah, and I know for a fact that there are other people that felt like they couldn't with that. So, and there wasn't correct mediation, and heard that people wound up walking away because of them just not doing things like that for them. And why aren't you going by your own standards? Why are you sending people copies of bylaws? Why are you, you know what I mean, even trying to say this is this is this, and if you do this and this, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
It's, you know,
it's kind of crazy.
it's kind of crazy. And
Yeah.
but I think everyone should have a shot to do whatever they want,
All right.
whatever they want to look like, however they want to do their hair. The things that bother me are people trying to intimidate people at contests with
Yeah.
different things,
Yeah.
ways, and like that's a bit far. It's a bit much. I don't care who, what walk background you are, walk like that's a bit far.
All right.
Okay, I mean,
I'm not gonna cut you off, but we only have the hour, so I'm gonna move on to the next talk, the next
okay,
person
good.
that's gonna be
That's
brought
fine.
up. But thank you so much, Don, for sharing that with us, because you've been in now a different group than just the Candy Apple, so it's nice to hear, like, not nice because it wasn't a great experience, but it's nice to hear the perspective of other clubs,
There were
because
just take away from it. There were a lot of good experiences, but some of it just got bad toward the end.
okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm going to put you back in the rotation. Thank you so much. You
Okay.
can go ahead and mute yourself again. The next person that I'm going to bring up to the spotlight is going to be the no other than, where are we over? It's Lisa, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's make you big. Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing, honey bunch?
I'm
So
hanging in there.
I know I've heard a couple of your experiences because you're just kind of coming back into the community after being in it for a while. So
Yeah.
can I just ask you straight, why did you leave the first time?
The first time it was just people. It's people. I just got done with it. I was just sick of it. Just people, just it was the same thing. Like you heard that, pinup was supposed to be, an inclusive thing where, you could be you, that you could be, because you see out there everywhere how there's, modern pinups, traditional pinups, all these different eras, not just 40s and 50s, and, the modern pinups with bright hair and
Tattoos.
tattoos and all this. My very first original bio has all of that in it, in my very first publication, because I was so passionate about it. And that was like the driving force behind it. And was that acceptance of everybody, no matter if you were tall, short, skinny, fat, short hair, long hair, tattoos, no tattoos, if you had, if you had disabilities, if you had, deformities, if you had this or that, it didn't matter. You could do pinup. It did not matter. And for the most part, I started doing print. Print was where I started, because I think it was comfortable. I could just be me, do me kind of thing. And, I saw a lot of variety when it came to print. I'm like, oh, there's a person like me, or there's somebody who's really different. And then it was, going out doing other stuff. And then that's where I started seeing whether it was backlash towards me. And in the more beginning, that's when I looked more tame and more normal. I do not that I look odd per se, but I had a bob haircut and my hair was dark. I didn't have, a bright pink mohawk at that time. So I had a little less, but and I understand there's things like, constructive criticism, but there is so much backlash against, if you are not these certain cookie cutter ways, you can't be anything else. And there's so much of, oh, I'm your friend, and then turn right around and talk about you to everybody, and then try to ruin someone's name, ruin someone's reputation, to get them out of the way.
I'm
It's
so glad you brought that up.
Usually it's somebody's competition,
Yeah.
most likely, and it gets brutal out there because how females are. Females have
Yep.
to be
They
well,
step on
women.
each other to get to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of being there for one another to build each other up. I mean, but I have noticed a lot with the girls who do a lot of the rockabilly community, who like to do rockabilly, pin up, and do everything out there. They tend to be a little bit more easygoing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like every rockabilly competition I did, they would always be looking out for you and be there and be like, oh, hey, your tag's sticking out. Oh, hey, you got lipstick on your teeth. Oh, hey, just really just, because the
Do you
last
think
time
that's because they've at one point felt like they didn't belong? So now that they have an opportunity to make another person feel like they belong, that's why they push it harder?
Maybe, I don't, and then there's, it's quite a few of them that do the traditional, pinup too. Because the very last one I did was Miss Bikes on the Bricks before, and I think that was and then we been like 2019. I think that was before COVID. Everybody there was great, just amazing. And some girls there that have won many of competitions that I'm like, how do you even know me? I mean, I know we're on this friends list, but like, you're drop dead gorgeous and amazing, but okay, thanks. But so like that was like, that was a really amazing experience for me with like at that competition. But but you just see so much of the other side where it's just,
ugly.
like how can you how can you be that way?
Yeah.
That's why you see just so many people just get up and
Disappear.
quit. I went
Yeah.
on a hiatus for so long, and then I started seeing stuff pop up, with you and the candy apples, and I'm just like, okay. And I just keep poking around, and I'm like, all right. And then I was slowly, asking you questions, probably more than maybe sometimes you would have liked at times, because how I get with things, and I overanalyze and overthink. But and I really like the group, and there is that sense of sisterhood and realness. I really
Right.
like that realness, even if it's something that is uncomfortable to ask, it's
Yeah.
okay to ask.
And
And
that's
you
because
get
of all
that.
these ladies. Like, they have made this group that what it is, because it started off as something completely different, and it's evolved into this just sisterhood where, I mean, if you guys bring up something in the group, you got like 17 girls behind you, like, who said what? When they say that? Where they
Yeah,
at?
and I can say honestly, for me, like, I typically, even though like I will chat your guys's asses off in the group, usually when talking like this, I am so nervous I can't speak at all. So for me to actually talk like this openly and freely with you guys says a very big thing.
Oh,
Like, it really does.
that's
So,
awesome.
so
You're
I mean,
doing a great job. You're doing
I
a great
really
job.
do. I love you guys, and I really appreciate you guys.
Oh,
So I really do thank you for that, for being
yeah.
there for me, because it gets hard sometimes. So yeah, you
We
guys really
love
do.
you. We love
So
you.
yeah,
You're a great addition.
you
You're an
know,
awesome addition.
you make me feel comfortable enough. If I want to wear my pink mohawk in a 50s, you know, housewife dress, then I will. So yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your story, Lisa. I'm so
Thank
glad when
you.
you hit me up that one day and you were like, "Can I ask you a question?" I was like, "Go ahead." So I'm glad that we met each other. I'm so
Yes,
glad.
I am as well.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna put you back. And then next I have let's see. I only have so many people on my top screen now, so I gotta scroll. All right, you were gonna go next, right, Jade?
Yep.
All right.
I am Lola Von Lemon is my pinup name. And I got involved with pinup specifically for the opportunity to meet new people and make new relationships. I felt like I just wasn't doing anything, and I wanted to change that. And this almost fell into my lap, and I was like, all right, that's a good thing to do. And really early on, I realized that it was actually a really good platform to grow as a person and promote body positivity, because so many people would be so excited seeing me like dress up and do this, that, the other, and they would compliment me and say all these amazing things. And I realized that could be really powerful for them, because I'm not your cookie cutter body type. I'm not that there is one really, but I'm not what you expect to see a lot of times. And I think a lot of people have drawn from that, from Lola, because it's Lola. She's a persona and she's a force to be reckoned with.
I love that.
And tapping into her, it really showed me that I had the opportunity to help other people. And that's what it's about for me. And really, it blows my mind that there's so many people that wouldn't want to spread the warmth and the positivity and the goodness that we have the opportunity to do. It actually is kind of disgusting to me that there are people that just want to walk around and be negative and nasty and tear people down. It takes so much effort to be nasty. Doesn't it? Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Nope, I agree.
I don't get it.
I agree.
I don't get it. I literally got into the pinup community for the opposite of what it seems people are doing, and I can't wrap my head around it.
So can I ask you a question, Jade?
Sure.
So when it comes to the body positivity, I've heard that in the community actually a lot. One of the most, I think there's two things I hear a lot of: finding pinup clothes that fits the body type of a plus size model. And then also when you go to a competition, it was seeming that people that were on the more smaller scale were the ones that would be the winners, or the ones that would kept winning. So have you experienced that yourself?
So I will say I'm kind of realizing, I don't have as many stories as everyone has, because like physical pinup, like in person, isn't a big thing here. I'm in Virginia, and we don't do that. The only contests I've ever been a part of are contests that I helped create.
Right.
So there just really isn't that much of that. But yes, absolutely. It can be a really big blow, a really, really big blow. We actually had a contest earlier this year, and one of my girlfriends in my other pinup group styled herself almost exactly like I was styled. Our dresses were very similar. Unintentionally, our hair was very similar. We were dressed almost exactly the same.
Oh, wow.
But she was much smaller, with big, ginormous, gorgeous boobies. I mean, we both look gorgeous, but you can't help but get in your head when that other person who's styled exactly the same as you wins. And it was
then you're
tough.
like, why didn't I win? What was different about what I
exactly did? And I'm the type of person to ask myself that question and try to find the answer. And I was like, okay, maybe, I was so anxious. I don't know what I did when I stood up there. I don't know how I posed. I don't know. I could have been on the ground. I wouldn't have noticed, and I especially didn't know what she did, because I'm just going through the motions. I get so much anxiety.
You're like a deer in headlights. You're just like,
oh yeah, I hate it, which is why I do it. But we were actually live for it on Facebook. So I went back and I watched it. And I mean, I hate to be that person, because I really strive not to be, but it wasn't the posing. Well, I'll just say that it wasn't the posing. There was nothing to back it up except the obvious. And I hate that. I don't like to be that person. That's why I do tap into Lola and let her take over, because Jade is insecure. And situations like that make it really hard not to be.
Right. So I can tell you right now, when I met you, you're very quiet. She's very quiet. And
unless I have something to say.
Right. But then that's what I was going to say. But when you have something to bring to the table, she's very okay with expressing herself. She's very okay with telling people that that's not okay. This is not how we should be. Why would someone act like that? And so I just want to kind of point out, not all pinups are these really bubbly, outgoing, just in your face people. Sometimes they're the ones that sit back and watch and observe and kind of like step up when they just see injustice. They just see something not right. And I would say, like, Jade, you're like that. Like, you might not say a lot, but when you finally do say something, it's because you're trying to correct something that was probably wrong.
Absolutely. I would agree with that. And thank you for noticing it.
I'll be watching. You guys don't think I'll be watching because I'm quiet.
No, I know you do.
But no, and I wanted to say that that's one of the reasons why I appreciate you in the club as well, is because I can pretty much, I think I've even came to you on the side and be like, how do you feel about this particular thing? And then you'll give me your honest opinion and be like, I think this and this and this. And I take it to heart, because honestly, with you being so quiet, that means that you have more time to actually listen and actually hear a lot of things that other people miss, because you're sitting in the background observing. So I feel very confident in the fact that even if you don't feel confident in yourself, or you don't feel that confidence, I have confidence in you. I think that you are amazing.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I love you. I love all of you.
Yeah.
And Lisa, we're so glad you're here. You got me all choked up when you were talking.
I know, Lisa.
I didn't need that.
Right. We were trying not to cry today, Lisa, and you put everybody in some tears. But that's okay. That's why I made you go kind of second, because I was like, I know you're going to have some tears. I already knew this. So thank you again, Jade. I'm going to put you back up to top. Thank you for your story. And then the next person we were going to have was it Healing, or was it Katie? I can't remember.
Katie.
It was Katie? Okay. I'm going to unmute you, Katie. and then I'm going to put you in the spotlight. All right. Hi, Miss Katie. How are you doing today? You got to unmute.
I was like,
There
am
we
I
go.
in here? Hey.
Tell us
So
your pinup name.
I am Miss Cheesecake Kate, and I am not your normal pinup. I am 46, a mom of 3. I'm a wife as well. And I started way back in the 90s. I was a true hardcore punk, and I was in the non-racist sharp skinhead scene as well. So I've had everything from a mohawk to tri-hawks to having the Chelsea skin bird cut. I also did the goth look. And now I am basically what you would call a retired punk rocker who went to pinup. That's what I basically is saying. I'm retired, so this is me. I got my start in pinup with basically my grandmother. She was a huge inspiration to me because she was classy, but she's also sassy, and that's probably where I get my sassy side. I think
You sassy, Katie? I don't see that. What?
me. I am probably the biggest ham of the group because with me during photo shoots, you tell me to smile and I'm going to pull a face on you. I don't know. I ended up hamming it up in front of the cam. I have experienced a lot of good and bad in the community. I basically have been in 3 different pinup groups. The Candi Apples I call my home. I am also a carb kitten, and I was Ace as well, the Atomic Aces. And I can say that I have seen a lot of positivity as well as true negativity and ugliness from females. I have had to go head to head with the president of one of my clubs, and I have seen it to the point of where we had a sociopath in one of our clubs. And it's not right. But with the pinup community, I think that people should be able to do their own thing instead of walking and talking the same. We are not all the same. We are different. There is no pinup police that should be telling us, oh, you're not dressed correctly. Okay, Karen, you need to knock it down a step because I'm not you. I'm going to do my own damn thing. And if you don't like it, screw you.
Oh, I was waiting for someone to say that. I was waiting for someone to be like, just let me be me.
I am not your norm. I have never walked to the beat of anyone else's drum. I have always done my own style, my own thing. And hey, if you don't like it, then don't look at me. Don't follow me. I'm not here to please you. I'm here to please me.
Yeah,
This is my thing, not your thing.
yeah.
And like, seriously, I'm seeing all these pinup police now saying, oh, we're supposed to look like this. We're supposed to look like that. Since when did the pinup police become a thing?
Okay, well, I have a big question to
question.
ask you because you are very honest, and I know I'm going to get a true blue honest question or answer from you.
Oh
So
boy.
I know, but I need to ask it because of the simple fact I know you're going to be honest. When you see some of the things from the outside, because I know you kind of sit quiet too when you want to be, what is the first thing that goes through your mind when you hear someone, whether they're friends or they're not, go through the typical bullying when someone says like, oh, that's not the traditional pinup. Oh, her hair's not right. Her shoes are from the 20s and her hair is from the 40s and her dress is from the 60s. What do you feel? Like, how does that make you feel?
I basically feel like, who are you to judge? Who are you in their freaking life? Seriously, are you the pinup mom? Are you the pinup police? Why do you have the right to tell someone else how to look? Dawn can tell you when a pinup sister is getting bullied or something's going on, she has had to hold me back, like literally almost physically hold me back. Because I may be all nice and I may look cute, I may look innocent at times, but you piss me off,
Yeah.
I'm going to tear through the phone. Like I said today earlier, what was it? Someone needed to be kissed or hit in the face with a pitchfork. High-fived in the face with a pitchfork. I literally meant it because I have seen people be bullied to the point of where they have wanted to take their lives from it, and it's not right. It's
And you
not
know what?
right.
I've heard a lot of stories about that where bullying got so bad where people were contemplating suicide, and that really disturbs me, because let's be honest, pinup is a lifestyle, but then it also can be for some people like their hobby or something that just makes them feel good, something that they do to make their spirits up. So to ever come into a situation where all you want to do is feel good and then you leave it wanting to kill yourself, that's not, I, who wants to be in that?
It's not right. The pinup community could be someone's outlet. They could be in an abusive relationship, and this could be the one happy point in their whole life for them. It could be their one way of being able to get out of something just
Right.
for maybe like 5 minutes, and to be in a group of where you're going to have bullying or to be bullied yourself in it, then that's going to bring that person down, and it could actually seriously ruin someone's like 1 minute of happiness of where they're already getting abused at their house.
Right.
We are all big girls, and I'm seeing a lot that really need to put on their freaking big girl panties. I mean, seriously, do I have to make my daughter look for you guys? I've seen so much BS. I was blackballed because I was friends with someone. Blackballed
Yeah.
out of the, they only met me like once, didn't know anything about me, never really gave me a chance. And then we're saying, they left me hanging for a month to find out if I even was gonna, be interviewed or anything with the club. Then they tell me, oh, we're not accepting new members. And then you have about 3 new members after that.
Yeah.
I was just about to say it's FOA.
It's okay. Well, thank you, Katie, so much for being honest, being brutally honest with that, because we've had a lot of talks about stuff, and I appreciate your perspective on it, because she brought up a really good point. The community sometimes does act like high schoolers, where if I don't like her, you can't like her. And if you like her, then I won't like you. And that's a problem, because I should be able to be friends with whoever the fuck I want to be friends with. Because last time I checked, I'm my own person, and I don't have to like who you like or be friends with who you like. That's just ignorant to me. And I think it's very high school. So I'm glad that you brought up that experience, because I've actually, as soon as I walked into the community, I think I was bombarded with people telling me who I should not be friends with. I was told how many people not to be friends with, more so than who I should be friends with. And to me, that's a red flag. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm being told who is good, who is bad, because honestly, I should be able to make that opinion on my own.
I was actually asked why I sent a thing about one of the competitions, why the person should vote for me, because I'm a member of a club that Michelle ran, because they weren't friends. It's like, well, just because you might not be friends with Michelle, so why shouldn't you vote for me? It's ridiculous.
It doesn't make sense.
I have seen clubs really go to shit because of the drama in it, and it's you can see the true nastiness of how you think people are your friends. You think that they're your sisterhood, your pinup sisters. At times, I really feel like you do have to watch your back in the community, because 1 minute someone could be your friend, the next minute they're stabbing you behind your back and they're talking about you. I mean, look at what happened to one of our dear friends that almost decided to quit something that is her baby.
Right.
A
It's
magazine
sad.
that she loves dearly.
Yeah.
And
That's a great
I have a
example.
heart to heart with her. To have someone bully you to the point of where you're going to quit something that is just like a child to you, something that they worked on so hard. It's like, how dare you? What gives you the right to do something like that over something that was so stupid that could have been basically figured out through a simple
Conversation.
message? Yeah.
Yep.
But
Well, thank
no,
you. Thank you so much, Katie. I'm going to put you back. Thank you for your wisdom. And I know that you are going to have more to say about this, because I know you got, I can feel it. I can feel like you were just getting started. Like, I can feel it. So, but thank you so much. I'm going to put you back. Who's next? Who's on my board here? Was it supposed to be? Now you're up. Helene, ready? All right. We're gonna add spotlight. Take out spotlight. Hi, honey bunch. You gotta unmute yourself. There you go. Hi. How are
Hi.
you?
Great. Hi, everyone. Glad to see all of you.
So, you are my little flower child. I love you. You have such an energy about yourself. You are always positive. You taught me my chakra, how to clean it. She was my first person that gave me my first like aura cleaning. Like I've never had any of that. And I probably would have never had it if it wasn't for meeting this woman right here. So,
Thank you.
of
I love
course.
you. You look great today. You look
Oh,
so beautiful.
thanks. Oh my goodness, girl, I feel like death, but thank you. But so you've had some experiences too. I know you've told me a couple of times that you didn't feel like you belonged in some groups and some atmospheres.
Yes. It was 7 years ago. First I'll say this, like I've had problems ever since I was a child. I didn't really fit in with the white community or the black. And then later on I noticed it was almost everyone because my personality was extremely different. And so I joined this club, I won't say the name, and it was for vets. It was sort of like pinups for vets, going out in the community. And they weren't so welcoming to me. And I felt a little, I don't know, I felt excluded from them. And one of the girls in that group, there was a misunderstanding. And I was trying to clear it up, and she took it the wrong way. And she bullied me. Typically, you think that people think that it's the black girl that bullies the white girl, but it was backwards. The color really doesn't have anything to do with it. It was because I have a strong innocence about me. And people know that I'm nice and they just think, oh, okay, let's have some fun here.
Oh.
So I had stepped out of the vintage community for like 6 years. And later on, I wanted to get involved in pinup contests, and I would enter them, and then I would find reasons not to show up. I would make up excuses like, oh, I can't come. I think I'm getting the flu or this. And even though I was getting like chills or feverish, I was actually creating that from my mind. I was trying to make myself sick so I wouldn't have to go, and I did that several times.
Were you scared? Were
then-
you nervous? Like, why would you do that?
I did that because I didn't want the same experience. I was afraid. What if they don't like me? My personality is a little different. This,
That's a
that, and the
shame.
other.
That makes me want to
And
cry. That right there, the fact that you manifest illness because of how scared you were to be repeated in a situation. But this is supposed to be the pinup community. This is supposed to be the
Yeah.
community that accepts you. This is supposed to be the community that makes you feel good. But you literally made someone physically ill because she's so scared about being treated poorly.
Right. And one of the ladies in that community, she was very nice. She knew there was something going on. She never like straight out asked me, but she was very welcoming. Like, are you okay, darling? Is anything wrong? Are you going to show up for the next contest? Will I get to see you there? And so I started thinking, I really like vintage. I really like dressing up. I like going out. So if I look stupid in that contest, if people are rude and they do this or that to me, oh well, I'm not there for them. I'm there for me. So I changed my attitude. I said, I kept like I didn't believe it. You don't always have to believe something for it to happen. You have to actually tell your mind it's going to be okay. And I told myself they're all going to like me. They're going to be nice, this, that, and the other. And they actually were, because what I'm learning and understanding now, when we have the same patterns, and if they happen once or twice, that's one thing. But if it's several times, the common denominator, it's myself. If it's always happening to me, it's not that I deserve it. It's not that I want it. My mind is expecting it to happen. I have to change the script in my head, the old story. And that's what I've been doing lately, and it's getting a lot better, because the last thing I want to become, and I'm not saying that for anyone else, this is about me, I'm not saying that to anyone. The last thing I'm going to be is a victim and allow it to hinder me to go out in the community and have fun and enjoy myself.
Oh my God. How old are you again, Healy? I'm serious. How old are you?
Age doesn't matter.
I think that you have the oldest soul in here. That is like one of the most profound things. Like I gotta have accountability for like the way I'm also acting. That is like, that's something that really lacking in the community too. A lot of people don't have accountability for what they do. They want to play victim. They want to say, "Oh, you bullied me. Oh, you did this to me." But sometimes it's about just having accountability for what you've done. And that's like, that is half the battle. So I thank you for saying that. Like I wasn't even gonna go there. I was gonna keep it on what other people do. But the fact that you brought it on to like, how do you present yourself? It's a big thing.
Right. And I didn't really do anything wrong. I was just expecting it to happen again because it did before. So I kept attracting
Yeah.
negative circumstances. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so proud of you. Good. This is why I like you. Because when I would be having these moments where I want to curse somebody out, he'll only be like, "No, don't do that."
You were actually one of my first good experiences in the pinup community because when I first saw you, when I added you as a friend, I didn't know you, but I felt like this vibe from you, and I was like, I wish she was here in Arizona so we could be friends.
I really want to go to Arizona. There's a lot of things happening in Arizona. Like you guys got competitions like every other day.
Yes, like 5 each month almost.
I know. Every time I put on, I'm like, man, I need to go to Arizona. Well, thank you so much, Healy, for everything that you bring to the group. I can speak for probably almost everybody that you do bring this light, this energy, this powerful presence of someone who, yes, you do come across as this very innocent soul. But sometimes we need that because we forget how we all started somewhere innocent. You all started somewhere where we didn't know something. So it's okay to go back to that simple time of being innocent. There's nothing wrong with it. So
Thank
you keep being innocent. Don't change for nobody. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Julie. All right. Who is on the chopping block now? Let's see. And then we're going to be going to, let's see. Maria, aren't you up? Let's get you up to the spotlight. Hi, Maria. You got to unmute yourself, baby.
Mute myself. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Now, I just want to quickly introduce, this is my newest VP. She has been out here making some moves, though. She was like, when we starting? What we got? What you need? Let me research. So I just want to say thank you for that in the first place, because I really needed someone to step in and be that person. And you like totally, I love it.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
What's your pinup name?
Well, I really don't have a pinup name.
Okay.
I go by my first name, Maria Rosie, also known as Rapunzel, but I actually go either or. How did I start in the pinup world? Actually, for me, it was really different than all of you. I started by my husband. My husband started taking a lot of pictures of me. And I really had a really bad self-esteem. And even when I lost all this weight, I still did have a really horrible self-esteem. It was not, I felt like it wasn't good for anything. And my husband always encouraged me, but you're beautiful. You have a lot of attributes. You're smart. You're bubbly sometimes. You can be sometimes feisty. So that's how I started in the pinup world. I started taking a lot of photos. Then I found out Roy Varga through the internet. And then I say, you know what? I'm going to sign up and I'm going to do a photo shoot with that dude. I never done this before. So I signed up and he told me, you seem to be very comfortable in front of the camera. You done this before? I said, no. He said, you did really well for your first time. Come back and shoot with me again. I said, okay. So I did another shoot with him, and then I started like, this is actually fun. I like, playing dress up and getting all doll up, and so it was fun. It was fun. Because I started so early in my career, my actual day job, there's a lot of restrictions for me. So I really don't participate in any penna contests. I only participated in one penna contest, and I won. Like, I don't know how did I do it, but I won. But the only reason I won that contest is because I did it for an organization, Pinups for Cancer, and they happened to like me. I don't know based on what they judged, the contest, but out of about 15 or 20 people, I was the one who won first place.
That's crazy.
But I believe that being on magazine publications, pen-up contests, I really don't to me it's not that important. Because I don't think you need to be a pen-up to do pen-up contests and be in magazines and all that. For one, for me, it's a no for a lot of reasons, because I do not want my picture to be published and then that in somebody's cell, an email jacking off on my picture. So there is a lot of restrictions for me. So for me, that is not really important. But like I say, I did have a lot of self-esteem issues. I did have a little bit issues with some photographers because I encountered that some photographers, they want to be possessive of you. Like, oh, you're shooting for me, you cannot shoot with anybody else. And I had a problem with that because I'm nobody's property. I can do whatever the effing I want. And I don't have a filter sometimes. And sometimes I can be a little bit aggressive and I speak up my mind.
I love
So
it.
that is the only thing I can say negatively I have when the community is some photographers, they want to own you and they want you to do certain things you're not comfortable with. And I wasn't good with that. I also encountered some photographers that were kind of shady. Some of them, they were predators. They prey on certain girls. Luckily with me, I always bring my husband or a friend. Even if I know that photographer, I always bring somebody with me.
That's great advice. If you guys have never done a photo shoot, I always
Yes.
bring somebody with me too. I
Yeah,
never go
and
alone.
I don't act desperately either. Oh, please take my picture. Oh, I want to be published. I want to be doing this. I want my name out there. No, because that's another
It's
form
so
of
funny.
people-
It perfectly went into your profile pic when you did that. Like I thought that was planned.
Yeah, it's like there's another way of people preying on you because you are desperate. Like, okay, she really wants to do this, and that. And living in Southern California, I mean, there is a lot of stuff going on here. I mean, you have a lot of famous pen-ups and you have a lot of, professional models. You see a lot of best of the best. But and I don't emphasize, for me on those things. And then honestly, I can't tell you any stories that people looking at me funny or because I don't dress a certain way. Like I say, I don't give a fuck what people say. I'm gonna dress certain way and I'm gonna do my hair certain way. Yeah, it's for me, not for anybody else. Yeah, I would like to be period correct, but that's really what a pen up is about. And I accept acceptance, from other people. Everybody is unique, and you don't have to, like a lot of people say, you don't have to fit the certain mold.
That mold, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I love my diversity. I like to have people from all backgrounds, ethnicities. Matter of fact, one of my best friends is white, and I mean we don't look nothing alike, and I mean yet we have so much in common.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I don't emphasize my self-esteem because I want to be out there and I want to take my picture and I want to be in this contest and I want to be in these magazines. I figure if I am, I am. If I don't, not the end of the world.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
So with that being said, because a lot of girls do like the magazine publishing and the pictures and the contests, I'm gonna tell you honestly, I love competing because anytime I get to show fierceness, I'm doing it because my thing is because there's not enough Black pinups that do any of those. They're just not out there. So when I went to my first competition, I was the only Black person. I was like, this is crazy. What? And then I went to my next one and I was like there's only 3 of us out of 25 girls, 3. I was like,
Yeah.
what? This is what? So now I'm determined to bring melanin anywhere I can, because it wasn't like we only popped up on the scene after the 60s. It was like we've been
Right.
beginning of time too. So but for people that are more like yourself, I would look at you as one of the most traditional pinups, even though you're not cheesecake, you don't do a lot of photo shoots, because what you stand behind is your integrity of like your community service, your fundraising, putting your best foot forward. And that is what I thought pinup was about. So would you say that you feel like that is the way you step into your pinup glory, is through what you represent?
I pretty much represent that. Matter of fact, if I enter a pinup contest, it has to be a more meaningful meaning to me in order for me to enter. It can't just be all about aesthetics. I look for more meaningness in the contest. Like, okay, you want to enter this pinup contest, but what you want to get out of this? What's your whole point of doing this? Is it because you truly want to show that beauty also is an internal beauty? You want to help out with an organization, with a nonprofit? Because if you notice, all people who participate in the universe, Miss Universe, all of them are well educated. They have really good self-confidence, and all of them have some kind of organization, some kind of charity that they help out, because that's part of the beauty, is that you gotta have the altruism, for
beautiful
people.
inside and out.
Exactly. And for me, that's what pinup is about. It's not so much the aesthetics. It's about your mind, your heart, how you are as a person. To me, that's what beauty encompasses, all those things. And I agree with your statement. I could say, I'm more the basic, classic, traditional pinup. Because to me, that's what pinup's about. Is what you do for your community, what you do for your neighbor. You are out there, you put your best foot forward. You want to look cute, because don't get me wrong, I like to look cute, I like to look fabulous, but at the same time, that I have a purpose. I want to have a purpose. Like, why am I doing all this? Besides being an outlet for me, therapeutic is an outlet because I get to meet people, I get to make friends, I get to do the things I like. And for me, helping other people, I think that's my call. I think that's my niche. And for everything I do, it has to be a solid purpose for me. It's not so much like I want to win this, I want to win that. For me, it's none of that. But that's just me. I'm not judging anybody. I'm not saying all people need to be like me.
I like that, because my next question after that, because you are more the traditional pinup. You are very accepting of everybody, though.
I am.
And that's what I wanted to get at. Like, yes, you want to see someone who's a traditional pinup. Maria Rosie is a traditional pinup.
I am.
But at the same time, she's not going to knock you because you have pink hair. She's not going to knock you because you have 1,000 tattoos.
I love mohawk. I love diversity. I love people being different. If you just like me, I'm going to find you boring. It's like, come on, girl, you gotta have some other stuff. And I honestly love diversity. I really do love people that are so different from me. And I really am an accepting person. The only thing I will not accept is your behavior. If you have a nasty behavior, a nasty heart, nasty personality.
But that's not pinup, so you shouldn't be like that.
You crossing the line. This ain't pinup here. This is not right. But that, like I said, that's just for me. But I love, different people from different styles. I don't know. Maybe, I mean it in a good way. But the weirder you are, the better. I think it's cool. If you're so very different, I really like that.
Thank you so much. I love you, Maria. Thank you so much. Thank you for being there for us and just being the person you are. So thank you. Thank you for
You're
being my
welcome.
right-hand man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Or
You're
right-hand woman,
welcome.
should I say. All right, thank you so much. Yes, Lisa, I got your message. Thank you so much for being here. And I understand you got to go take care of your little ones. You're welcome. All right, and then I'm gonna have Perla step in because she wasn't in the rotation before. I'm just gonna put you out there, Perla. If you're not ready, you better get ready.
Minute.
Yeah, and it's smiling.
I'm here. You see
Perfect.
me?
Hey, honey bunch. No, we're dwindling down to our hour, and I want to get everybody in. So
Okay.
I have very specific questions to ask you because you were in a situation in the community where you were put through the ringer. So I have very
Right.
specific questions to ask you just because of the experience that you went through.
Okay.
You guys don't know any
Shoot.
background of Perla. She was in a cluster of he said, she said, this, that, and other.
Clusterfuck.
Yeah. And it was a lot of childish behavior, a lot of rumor spreading, a lot of slandering. And when I met her, she was kind of at a very low point. I want to say that you were even thinking about stepping away from the community because of it. And it took a lot for me to convince her not to. And it took me a lot to convince her to be an Apple too, because she just did not want to be part of the scene anymore. And that saddened me. So I kind of just want to let people understand, like, you are just coming back from having a really bad experience, and just let people know that you're here now. And I feel like you're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty boss right now. So
Yeah, definitely. What was do you want me to talk a little bit
yeah, I
about it,
kind
or
of
do you
want you
want
to
me?
just say, like, what was your experience with the negativity?
So I mean, I was a nerd who grew up in the hood, so I got bullied a lot. I think I told you guys a little bit about that. So I was kind of used to being bullied a lot, but not as an adult. It's like a whole different thing. You want to be like an adult, act like an adult, but then you want to turn back and be like, I'm gonna just go hood on everybody, but you can't because you're an adult. You get in trouble now. But so for me, it was damn it, wait, let me go back, circle. I squirrel all the time, so I'm sorry about that. But for me, it was really hard because it came from a place that it was like people that I looked up to, and they did this to me like from one day to another. Like all of a sudden, yesterday we were best friends talking about like connecting and doing things together, and then the next day was like I had a live done on me. I had them bashing my name, bashing my event, saying I stepped on people's toes and stuff like that. And I was like, what are you talking about? We just talked about this the other day. You guys were totally cool. And then like that day, it's like all of a sudden they're, and I think I was talking to Maria, who kind of helped me a little bit understand the reason why I didn't attack them on social media as well as and call them out as being bullies was because they victimized themselves. They told people, I'm a victim. I'm a person who has dealt with this really bad situation in my life. So in my mind, and I think I spoke to you in our minds, we're thinking if I attack them, they're just gonna resort to you're hurting or you're calling out a victim. So, and I was like, okay, so I can't do that. So I was in a lot of pain right before my event. And there was a lot of people who were crazy enough when it all happened and people were starting to find out who said what or what was said. A lot of people stopped and was like, wait a minute, that's not who we know. So they started questioning things. They started tying things together. People started leaving groups. People started unfriending them. And it was all based off of their view on it. Never me talking shit or telling people
I can
this is
vouch
who it
for
was.
Perla. She never mentioned names. She doesn't mention like who said what. She just talks about like what she's going through so she can get advice, but she never threw people under the bus. Even if they were the meanest to her, she still didn't throw people under the bus. And that to me is true pinup, because it's like she wanted help, but she didn't have to smear somebody or knock someone down to get it. And that's a big thing. And like Healing said earlier, she was dealing with people that wouldn't take accountability for what their actions played into the circumstance.
Exactly. And that's exactly what was happening. A lot was blaming me, saying that I was the one doing this stuff, saying, you know, I was being too friendly and that's what they consider bullying. I was like, do you know me? I'm like the friendliest person in the world. Like 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, hey guys, good morning. Want a coffee? You guys want help? I'm gonna help you with that. And I'm always the first one to jump in and try to help somebody too. And I think that also played into their view on me. And they're like, whoa, she's trying to like get up in there.
She's trying to be like a suck up or like a kiss ass.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
sometimes you're just a nice person. So
oddly enough, yes. And
I know it's hard I know it's hard to really believe that there's really nice people out there in the world, but some people are just nice people. So
yeah. And that throws a lot of people off, especially in Arizona. They're not really used to that. They're used to like this competitiveness. And when I met Healing, I was like, hey, what's up, Healing? Like, you know, oh my God. And I would just sit there and talk to her. So I was always trying to help other people who felt similar to what I felt like. But as an overall, I mean, they didn't take accountability. They pretty much just threw it all on me, and I just stayed quiet and I just kept moving. I mean, there was times where I had never cried so much in that week. Like nobody knows how much I've cried except for my husband. And he was like, he's like, you never cry. And I'm like, I know I'm such a baby, but I never actually do it, you know?
Yeah.
But I did my event and it was a huge success. With the people sticking up for me and you know, making sure it was known like, hey, we know who you are. We know that's not you. That helped a lot. And I was so blessed with so many people who actually did that. I mean, these women were called out for being racist towards me. And it was like, I was like, oh, I thought I was the only one who heard that, you know? So for me not to say anything and people still say, hey, when you're around me, she's my friend, don't talk about her. I was like, wow, that's dope as hell.
And
but
that is true pinup. That is how pinups are. Yes.
It is. And you got each other's back, and that was a lot of respect for everybody.
And we don't have to be ignorant about it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We don't have to throw fists. We don't have to curse someone out. It's sometimes turning the other cheek and just being the bigger person, because that speaks way more volumes than cursing someone out. Sometimes just letting it ride, just ignoring the mess. And I told you that. I think that's one of the major things I said. I said, you know what? Ignore it, because they're going to hang themselves. And that's exactly what happened.
It is exactly what happened. And you were completely right. And I think with a lot of the conversations we had is what made me like finally say, hey, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to go join a group with Michelle and I'm going to see what happens. And I was like, the moment I joined, I was so excited. I was so happy because when we were talking about it, I was like, I got to see like, you guys understood where I was coming from. You guys saw who I was and appreciated the fact that I didn't, you know, drop names and do all that stuff. So it was like more of an understanding. I said, well, she does it. I want to be part of that.
Yeah.
So with that, you know, with everything I've been doing, every single event, right before every event I've done, I've always had a little bit of issues with the same people, constantly dropping little, you know, bullying and little shit my way. And I still keep trucking through it. I mean, I think there was some comment saying, you know, well, how can I talk to her if she blocks me? And I'm like, well, what'd you do that made me block you? You know, like you weren't blocked before that, and then you know, then you did this, and then
it's a blurry line. Sometimes it's like really blurred line. Like, what should you do? Should you just be like, forgive and forget, or should you really stick to what your convictions are? Because it's hard. And I wanted to take the time to say that you handled it very well, and I think that's why you're so successful now.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was very hard. It was very hard to stay, you know, in between the lines. But at the end of the day, I just said, you know what, if I can't, I went back to like kid style. If I can't see it, it's not there. It's not happening. It just kind of like ignored it, pushed it away. But even if I did that, it was still there. It was still there, but not as bad. And I kept moving forward. And what actually happened was more pinups started coming to me with the same stories. They started looking at me like some kind of like I was like the rebellion from Star Wars. I was like, yeah, I got the Force, you know? So they started coming to me and just like telling me their story, and I would appreciate them. And I'd say, you know, I'm here for you. I'm not going to bash their names. I'm not going to do this, this, and that. But if you need help, you need anything, I got you. My January event was a huge success for a lot of the pinups that had been dealing with it. They went to it. That was like one of the first ones they had gone out to in a very long time, which was awesome for me. I felt very honored, and it just keeps happening. More and more keep coming, and more and more we keep
You're
helping.
blowing up, baby.
So.
You're doing great. I'm so very proud. And this started where a few months ago, would you even think that you'd be where you are right now?
God, no.
No.
My bullying actually started the moment I stepped into my first pinup pageant. It was very minimal. So that was back a year ago in February. That was my first pinup pageant. The moment I stepped in the room, that's when it started. And it just progressively got worse. And then now it's just like kind of fading out. And like I told you guys, everybody, I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna clean a slate clean and just keep doing me. And I will welcome everybody. I'm not gonna just preach supporting each other. I'm just gonna support everybody. So even if they don't like me, I'm still gonna do it.
There you go, baby. Sometimes you gotta do it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much for
course.
telling your story, because I knew you had a doozy. So thank you so much.
Yeah. So if any of you guys need anything, you're welcome to talk to me, and I'm here for you. My little baby.
I know, I hear it. I'm saying, I'm sorry, baby.
No, she's cute. And that's my little sister's baby. She's crying. So cute though.
Okay, and then the next person we're gonna bring up is our beautiful Stacy. Oh, no, we're gonna do it Dawn. Dawn first. Our other Dawn. We have two Dawns. Hi, Dawn. Let's see here. Click the thing.
Unmute.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, baby. You're beautiful. What's your pinup name?
I am Miss Mary Beautiful. It was a nickname that my great grandma gave me when I was little. I was named for the Dallas Cowboys football player Don Meredith. And
Cool.
when I didn't come out a boy, they just changed the spelling. So she did not like it. And so she did everything she could to make sure that I was girly and feminine. And so she called me her little Miss Mary Beautiful. And yeah, it was just a name. We had a great relationship for her to be my great grandmother. So when you hear me talking about my gran, that's who I'm talking about.
Aww.
And she was my hero. I mean, grace, talent. She was in vaudeville in the 20s. She actually tap danced on a huge drum while my great grandpa sang. They were friends with Clara Bow and Tom Mix. And, you know, she had these wonderful stories of being on the stage and traveling the upper 40. And, you know, so that's what I grew up with. I grew up with her glamour and her stories. And, you know, so what you see is her in me. And I'm a late bloomer. I avoided the camera for years and years because you wouldn't know it, but I'm actually a really shy person. So like talking now, my heart is just going like this. So,
You're doing great. You're doing absolutely great.
Not common for me to do something like this. But the reason why I started getting into pinup was because I was dressing this way daily around 2017. And some friends of mine were like, I was looking for clothes to fit my plus size. I'm between a 16 and an 18. And it's hard to find pinup clothes.
No, you don't say that. You're not between a 16 and 18. You're between a fabulous and a sexy ass woman. That's what you are. We don't do sizes like that. No, not today.
Gotcha. Well, I met Felice. She has a pinup clothing store on Poshmark, and she also has one on Facebook. And so I met her through Poshmark, and she was like, well, come over to Facebook. I've got all kinds of clothes for you that will fit you. And I was like, oh, you know, so I had my husband sit down with me and opened a Facebook page and started posting pictures just because I love the aesthetic And I think I'm considered a very classic pinup, just because the 50s is my decade, because that was my grand's decade. That's where she felt the most beautiful, and that's where she felt fashion was at its height, and class and glamour. So even though I see myself as a classic pinup, I think pinup spans the decades. There were and always will be pinup girls of the decade, no matter what decade. And I have friends who rock the 20s. I have friends that rock the 70s. I have friends that rock the 90s. So there is always a pinup girl for every decade. Pinup is not this little 1950s 10-year span, and I think anybody that thinks it is very small-minded and very self-centered, and that's not right. So the way I grew up, and I'm 50, guys, I'm 50. I've been married for 30 years.
You look great, baby.
I have two grown kids and two grandbabies. I've been around for a while. And my grandma always told me, you are not always going to get your way. Not everybody is going to like you, and sometimes you need to just let things go. Now,
Wow.
I've had my own experiences in the short time that I've been in the pinup community. Just last year, I had someone who felt like she was in competition with me, and was mad as a wet cat because I placed in a competition and she didn't.
Oh, wow.
And threw herself a fit, and then went behind my back and was talking about me behind my back. I would go into the group chat and she would make a point of telling everybody she was leaving because I was there, and it was ridiculous because I had never said anything to this woman other than encouraging words.
Oh, wow.
And my grandma always told me, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say
Don't say
anything at all. So instead of getting online and trying to tear her down or trying to tell people, how she was treating me, I stepped back, and like Perla, I let it go. I just quietly unfollowed her and just let it go. Even when people were contacting me and saying, hey, did you know she's saying this about you? I was like, you know what? It's okay. She can talk all she wants, because that's the type of person she is. And that's the type of person she's showing everybody that she is. I'm classy. And if I have an issue with you, I'll contact you and we'll talk about it in private, but I'm not going to smear you. I'm not going to
that's a true pinup. That's a true pinup. Once again, another true pinup is that's a personality trait of a true pinup. It doesn't care what you have on. She could be wearing a paper bag right now. I want to deal with someone who has that kind of integrity.
Right. And see that, the whole thing that happened with Elena just went straight to my heart, because Elena is, oh my God, drop dead gorgeous, but she has a heart that just shines through. I mean, her beauty just radiates from within, and to have that nipped, to have her feel like she was less than or she didn't belong, just, it hurt me, and that's when I messaged you and I was like, I am not happy about this.
Yeah, this whole thing has started because of what Dawn mentioned me. She did. She was fit to be tied. She was like, this is not something that should be going on at all.
Right. No, we are a sisterhood. I don't have sisters, guys. You guys are my sisters. I don't have that female bonding thing that happens with most women. Most women don't get along with me because of the way I look. Because, I mean, even I was working at a bank and, being administrative assistant, I was in the lobby, right? Well, people like the way I look. They like the way I dress, and they say so. And the girls would just get so jealous and mean. And, they'd be like, do you ever get tired of compliments? And I'm just like, I
I'm like,
am who
no.
I am, and I'm not going to apologize for who
That's a
I
dumb
am.
question. It's
Yeah.
like, what?
So, you know, I love it because in the pinup community, I'm not the sore thumb that sticks out. I'm one of the girls.
Yeah.
And that makes a huge difference. And to hear somebody feeling like they don't belong, I know what that feels like. I know how that feels, and it hurts. And I would never, I'm going to get emotional. I would never in a million years hurt somebody like that on purpose. It's not fair, and it's not nice, and it's not the pinup way. We are here to encourage each other. We're here to lift each other up. We're here to cheer for each other. You know, even if we're in the same competition, even if we're doing the same thing. You know, Jade said somebody was dressed like her. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we are in this together. We are supporting each other. We are doing this because there's that sisterhood and that camaraderie that should be there, you know. And I love that the Candi Apples, when Elena came out with this, that we all just jumped in and surrounded her and said, no, this is not going to happen to one of our sisters, you know?
Yep. Well, thank you. Well, thank you for trying to make me cry. Thank you. I didn't do it though. I kept them in here. So,
Well,
but
I tried for you.
thank you. I was like, I cannot do this right now. I have too much mascara on.
I know, me too.
But thank you so much for sharing that. And like I said, if you guys didn't know why this all started, now you know. It's because she did message me and she said that this is something that is becoming really bad. It's every day. It's someone else. Just because it happened to somebody in our group, it's happening to someone every day. It's just, we just don't know them or they don't talk about it. But every day, I promise you, somebody has been knocked off of their feeling good about themselves, their self-worth, they've been knocked off, and it's just so happened to be one of our girls this time, and it wasn't gonna happen. So, but thank you very much, Dawn, for being the one that put the tickle in my ear. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna put you back. And then we're gonna bring back, or we're gonna bring on Stacy. You ready, Stacy? Hi, how are you doing, lovely? I love your outfit. I love your top. Very cute. We talked about pink as your signature color. We like pink on you and red. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thanks. I'm so inspired by all these stories. It's very uplifting.
Oh, I'm glad it's happened. I'm very uplifted too. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Geez, I'm not sure that's a good idea. Okay, well, I'm 57. I'm married, and I have a teenage son. I've been with the same woman for 36 years. I'm new to pinup, probably 3, maybe 4 years at the most. But
that's not new anymore. That's seasoned, baby.
Well, I also haven't done much with it though either. So, you know, I'm not able to compete locally just because of my situation with family and everything. I'm sure everyone here knows that I'm transgender. I consider myself gender fluid, and so what that means for me is that I present both male and female depending on what's needed. So I need to present male for my family and for my jobs, but in my free time, pinup and being Stacy is what brings me joy.
Well, I just want to let you know, I met you probably around April, May, and you were one of the first people to really reach out to me and be super welcoming.
Awesome.
And I have had a lot of talks with you about your, personal situations and what you're going through. And I think that out of everyone in the group, I feel like you have the most of the wanting to belong but don't know how to fit in because you're afraid of getting that backlash that some of the girls have talked about already.
I think so. I mean, I'd be a pretty easy target, right? That's the problem.
And that's where I wanted to get at, is that you feel like if you put yourself out there anymore, you're going to get attacked.
I think you're right. And I can handle that, but I can't have my family being involved in that, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd like to compete. I'd love to fly down to Arizona and go in a contest, but I always worry that I don't want to make a spectacle of the contest by having me in it. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want
Yeah.
people to say like, why are they letting him in, right? I don't want to take away from it. So
You would never take away from it. You would never take away. I almost every competition I've had a transgender person.
oh really?
Believe it or not, yeah. One of the ones that I said was one of my favorites, Indie Van, Misty Rose was there.
Okay, yeah.
So I know that in your heart you feel like you won't have acceptance. And when you listen to these other stories, it does feel like that might happen.
It does.
But I do want you to know that even if it does happen, you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
You will never
I know
stand
that.
alone again.
No, and I appreciate that. And I don't have any negative stories, to be quite honest. Pinup has been a godsend to me, being more than honest. It's helped me through some very tough times, and it's helped me understand myself and accept myself. And it's made me very happy. And
Oh,
I mean, I'm so far away from everybody. I'm way up here by Santa, right? But I feel like I'm with you guys constantly. So I guess I'm a pinup by virtue of being friends with you guys. Yes.
you are a pinup because that's what you are. You're not a pinup because of us. You're not a pinup because of what you wear. You're not a pinup because that's just what you want to say. It's because you hold inside the integrity that a pinup is supposed to possess.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Thank you. And
Yeah.
I remember I've been going to car shows for 30 years, and I went to one in 20 years ago, and the pinups were so beautiful. And they were beautiful, I was attracted to them. I wanted to be up there with them, right? And 20 years ago, that's a pretty out there thought, right? So.
Well, I cannot wait to be able to meet you in person. And
Oh,
if you ever do come to the States, please do not hesitate to hit up any one of us, because I think we will all be very willing to house you, show you around, take you out. We can go shopping. I like to go antiquing. Like we will do whatever their little heart desires, because when I say that there's many women in the community that were born women,
Mhm.
that might be very beautiful women, they're ugly pinups.
Mm. I unfortunately, I know what you mean. I've seen too much of it.
Yeah.
And there's a saying that she's not pretty. She's born that way, right? Which means that the nastiness or the unkind person overpowers your physical look, right?
Yes. Yep. You can be as
What I do
pretty.
have to mention, I
Yeah.
would like to mention though to any of the fellow sisters here, that I have a very difficult time finding clothes, and I'm a basically a brick outhouse shape. So
Okay. If you ever have any
anyone,
suggestions. Oh no, I think you froze. Oh no. Stacy, come back. I'm gonna just put it, let's see here. I'm going to remove spotlight until it fixes, and then I'll bring the next one up, and then when her video fixes, we'll bring her back. It's probably a bad connection. Okay. All right, Melanie, I'm gonna bring you up to the forefront here, okay? I can hear you a little bit. It's a little quiet. It's a little bit. You're really low. Are you close to the mic? Are you far away from the mic? It's a little bit better. It's getting louder. Whatever you're doing, if you keep increasing that. It's a little bit better. Let's see here. I want to see if I can put you as spotlight, but I don't think it will because your video isn't on. So I will keep you off the spotlight. But the reason why I wanted Melanie to go a little bit closer to the end is because she is someone that has been very, very supportive to me in the community. I met her. And not only that, I would consider her once again one of the more traditional pinup. And when things were going on with everything happening with Elena and her situation, I asked Melanie very specifically, like, is this like something I don't understand? Why is the pinup community being so stickler about this, that, and the other? And she very boldly told me that that's not right. Like, we should not treat other pinups like this. This is not how pinups are supposed to be. So that's why I wanted her pearl of wisdom on the situation, because she is considered more of the traditional pinup. And like I said, I love to hear the traditional pinup tell people that this is not how we should treat people in our community at all. So take the floor, Melanie. Uh-oh. Oh, it's really, oh, your sound is really off. Oh.
Let me try one thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Much better.
Much better?
Much better. Yes.
Okay. Sorry
Yes.
about that.
You're fine. You're absolutely fine.
Okay. So, like I was saying, I had my COVID #2 vaccine, so I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but I wanted to make sure to still be a part of this. So, what I would like to state is it doesn't matter who you are, what gender you affiliate with, the color of your skin. If you have pinup in your heart, you can rock whatever it is that you have. We have one life, and we get to live in this United States where we have freedom to associate, where we have freedom of speech, we have freedom to be with one another, to build one another up. Think about those old traditional pinups that we really think about and hold in our minds with great esteem, like Marilyn Monroe and like Carmen Miranda and women like that stood and gave us the idea of what beauty can be. And it's through pinup that it makes us feel this passion in us. And one of the things that brought me to pinup is because I just love women and I love supporting women. I love seeing women out there being themselves. And with me, pinup has definitely changed the way that I think about myself, that I think about other people. Just to give you an example, like through pinup, I'm not a mom, I'm not a wife, I'm not a teacher, I'm me. I get to be the person that I was meant to be. I get to put on that persona and those red lips and a cat eye, and I'm complete. And that's what pinup means to me. When I do a contest, I've been in over 20 contests. And when I do a contest, I compete against myself. And I also like to do contests like some of you guys were sharing to give back to the community. I love my community. And pinup gives me an opportunity to share my love for other women, my support for them, and my love for my community. I'm getting emotional. Stupid COVID shot. Sorry. But I will say that as I look at my daughters, I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. And I remember when my oldest was getting bullied in 5th grade. And she said, "Mommy, none of the girls want to talk to me." The first thing I told her, I said, "Be in a pinup pageant with Mommy, and we'll go up there together and I'll show you how other women treat other women." And we went up there and we did a Halloween pinup pageant, me and her, and I was Corella DeVille and she was a Dalmatian. And we went up there and we competed with all of these women in all of these Halloween costumes, and we won. And I told her, and then as we went through to get up to get the crown, I thanked all the contestants. We hugged every single contestant before we got up to the stage. And my daughter will never forget that experience, because that was the first time that she learned about the true pinup sisterhood. And that's what it's about. It's about building each other up. It's about being there for each other. It's about protecting each other. It's about complimenting and being united with one another. And that's my pinup experience. I've been in several contests, so if anybody wants to know about an online contest or a live contest, please seek me out. I also coach other women, and I also pageant coach for my high school, and I teach high school girls about the pinup sisterhood as well. So I love the pinup culture. For the most part, I love the people, and I am excited to be in Candi Apples, and I'm excited to support other women that are like me.
Aw.
So thank you guys, and I'm just so happy to be here.
Oh, we love you. Thank you so much. Oh, that was I never knew the story about you and your daughter. I knew that you guys did a competition together, but I didn't know the backstory of that. And I'm really touched that you got to give your daughter probably the first true feeling of feeling good and sexy and happy and proud of herself. So good for you, Mom. Kudos.
Well, the first thing for me was, that was my first thought. I was like, no, I have to teach her how other women are there for one another, how we clap for one another, how when somebody wins, you hug them, you congratulate them, you post it on your social media. That's pinup, being a gracious winner and supporting other people. No matter if you win or don't, because I've won big and I've lost big, but each time it's your integrity and what you put out into the world.
Yep.
So that's what's going to do it. And that's what's going to help the future of pinup, because what we're doing now and what we're talking about is really going to change people's lives, how they present themselves to the world through pinup, and how they treat other sisters, no matter your gender or your background.
Yep. Good. Yes. Thank you. Yes. And this is exactly why this was a great starting point for this discussion, was to talk about just how we felt, because I promise you, like I said before, there are many, many other women that have felt this, gone through this, but they might just not have I don't know, they might be too afraid to talk about it. They might feel like they're going to get shot down. So to allow however many of us are in here right now to share our story, this is going to let another person be like, okay, I'm not alone. Okay, this isn't just me. So thank you, Melanie, for being that inspiration. Stacey, you were about to say something and then your thing froze on me. So what was it about the clothes? Oh, unmute.
Sorry about that.
You're fine.
I can't remember what I was going to say, to be honest.
You were saying that you were built like a brick house. So you are.
The brick outhouse, yeah. So I have a very difficult time finding pinup clothes or vintage style clothing that will fit me. So if anyone had any suggestions, I would be more than happy to hear them.
Okay. I will, and I'm always on the lookout if I'm at like the thrift stores and stuff. I'm always looking for something. So
That's nice. Thank you.
I have a collection again of my clip-ons.
Oh,
So
nice.
yes.
Nice. I would like to thank everyone though, because I'm overwhelmed by acceptance and love and support, and it means so very much.
And I can speak for everybody when I say we love you. Like, it's just, if you just keep being who you are and don't change not another thing about you, you will be fine.
Makes my heart swell with joy and love. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
really do.
You're welcome. All right. Last but not least. All right, Elena. You ready, girlfriend?
Well, hi everyone. My name is Elena Michelle Surface, and in a pinup community and in goth community known as Miss Ellie Noir. Well, okay. First and foremost, I want to apologize that the whole situation was me actually created the whole round table.
You are not, there is no reason to apologize.
I realized that it ain't only about me, and it's just was some kind of an opportunity to actually start to talk about a problem that is really kind of pain in the neck in the community and stuff like that. Well, I'm not going to tell my story like too much because I don't have much of a story. A little bit like Maria, I was dragged literally in a pinup community by my partner, boyfriend, whatever, my father, my son's dad. He likes that he owns a rat rod. He wanted his wife, girlfriend, whatever, to show up her butt out there in those dresses. And he kind of actually talked me and take part in the first pinup competition. Okay. Once in here, I hate competing. I just don't like it. I mean, I totally, genuinely hate that stuff. Okay. Why? Everybody of you already told why. Okay. Just get it all together. That's why I hate it. Anyways, so I went on that stage and then it's like a new pinup club was forming. I was invited, and that's how I dragged myself into the previous club that I've been into. Well, okay. First of all, about not being accepted and stuff like that. I'm an immigrant. Not only I'm an immigrant, I'm a legal immigrant through marriage, and I'm Russian. So I'm not accepted in very many ways. Okay. In very many ways, which I could really care less, frankly. I have a lot on my plate, and I do not know how long I've been an adult, probably since like I was 10. I'm almost 30 right now. I really am a big fan of a phrase. I'm not $100 bill to be liked by everyone. Okay. Especially women. Okay. Why? Because women at work and stuff. I mostly male staff. I mostly work with men. Why? Because they're a little bit at least less, not everybody, I swear to God, not everybody, less on gossip and intriguing. But that's when we're talking about work. So having actually a personality like that, when I was being told about this whole pinup thing, which is not a part of my culture, ladies, I'm very sorry. In those 50s, everybody is flourishing and telling and that feeling nostalgic. Here in the United States, we were trying to rebuild a country after losing 52 million people to Second World War. Okay, so I mean, we didn't really care much about fashion, about wiggle dresses and stuff. That is just geographical stuff, historical stuff. That has nothing to do with today's conversation. Just explaining why pinup is probably twice hard for me to understand as for any of you who actually know it from your granny, from your mamas, and stuff like that. I don't know that. I've never seen that. So I am actually trying to fit in and told that it's acceptable, and everybody is welcome. And no matter who you are, blah, 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 blah. Every single pinup club that tells you that. It comes when push comes to shove, when push comes to shove. We see a Miss America with glass on the shoes, with back talks, with childhood. I was just so, it was awesome when Katie was like, and the others were like, or Lisa, well, a lot of you ladies told it that you got to be friends with that, you got to be not friends with that, or stuff like that. That's how exactly I was kicked out of my previous club. Never mind, because I was friends with somebody who wasn't like, anyways. That's middle school. It is, but
it is very
what
like I can't even.
Okay, now you have a girl, a big city girl, all her life, ending up from a pretty high income in a very low income situation in Superior, Wisconsin. Okay, it's Northland. It's cold. It's icky. It's yucky. It's a challenge. You don't want to live here. I'm telling you, it's freezing.
Yeah.
You gotta freeze the bottom off, literally.
Yeah.
To freeze something off, sometimes we have frozen like that enough of 5 minutes to get it severe frostbite and end up in the hospital. So you literally freezing your ass off in here. Okay, lickers. That's what it is. I mean, somebody who doesn't believe me, Google it. You get surprised. Anyway, so here I am sitting here, okay, in a situation pretty much in an alien country, no friends, God knows where the family is, situation like that, and wow, here you go, you're gonna be accepted. Well, like, sounds pretty much very encouraging, I would say. And then we start that excuse me shit. When it comes to competition, when it comes that you don't have enough of money, when it comes that you can't do a hair that way, when you dare to give some advice, when you do this, when you do that, you are slowly becoming a persona non grata, okay? Which is something like an outcast. And people are starting to actually show you that they're better than yourself in every possible way, which you totally accept because that is kind of normal. They've been in there, their grandmas have been in there, like mommies were in there and stuff like that. So what you're trying to do of being an adult person, that's correct, you're trying to learn.
Right.
If you want to stay in there because you're taking your own responsibility, I mean, you don't want to be there, well, ain't nobody's holding you.
Right.
So what you gotta do, you're putting your best to try to be a little bit of a sportive, right? Trying to kind of fix your time, fix your mind, your mentality, your kind of problems, whatever. Just try to actually be a part of at least something.
Right.
And well, you're fighting, you're trying. Okay, then it starts. You are starting to find some kind of photographers. You're starting to do TFP shoots. You're starting getting published, even though not in Pinup magazine, but you're starting getting published a lot. And here goes your club in your community that wouldn't cheer for it one time because actually they kind of hate it. Okay, well. That's when you're trying to think, do I actually need a community like that? I have a little child, I have a hell of a problem. Why do I have to go there and every single time being afraid to be taken as a laughing stock? I mean, why do you even, no, well, yeah, it's easy to just, I'm a loudmouth Russian. If I want to put somebody down, I will do it in a very elegant, but in a way that that person will remember it to the end of their days, I assure you. But why do you really need to do that? I mean, some ladies, I have a feeling that, when they grew up, they had their high school clique or middle school clique where they were like, this Miss Popular and stuff like that. Hey, I was Miss Popular too. It's just I didn't need to do stuff like that. But then when they grew up, went to work, started living an adult life, they kind of missing that a lot. That power to actually bully each and everybody and tell each and everybody what to do and how to do it. And that's why they actually get into pinup and start doing that stuff. Since all by law says empowering women and stuff like this, they don't do it openly or don't put it into a rule. Why not actually? Why wouldn't you just stand up and say, well, you know what, if you're not dressing up in 50s, 60s era, and if you don't do the 5 hairstyles that are appropriate for that, you just don't join. I would think that would be much more of a fair approach. If that's the way you really want to see it. Not gossiping behind the back, not sending messages, well, you know what, since you're a gossip, you're a shame to a community. I would explain what kind of shame she is. But really, I mean, my situation was, do I really want to fight for that and what for?
Yeah. Makes
And I'm
sense.
looking at all that and saying, like, you know what? How about I just don't quit playing those middle school games? Because ladies, what you say pinups, like well, for you ladies, it's the pinups. For the rest of the world, it's actually just being a decent human being.
Oh my God, I say that all the time.
With integrity, with some kind of self-respect, with some kind of respect to each other, with acceptance of the others, or at least an attempt to. There are things we can accept, there are things we can't accept. But at least we can, whoever's, I think Adon's granny said, if you ain't got nothing to say, nothing good to say, just keep, shut that mouth, okay?
Shut the
Just
fuck up.
keep
You can say it.
yourself-
You can
yeah,
say
well,
it.
exactly.
It's okay.
You
Yeah.
know, just
I say that all the
keep it
time.
down, you know.
I love that
It's
you.
not about, because what you're saying right now is like being pinup. I'm telling you from the side of a world where pinup is not a thing. It's just being a decent
person.
human being, not even a man, not even a woman, not
human
gender
being.
fluid, blue, black, purple, whatever. Oh, again, I'm from the country where racism does not exist. Why? Because it's fucking cold there, okay? There is no such a thing as African Russians. African heritage doesn't want to live there.
Like the cold like that. We don't do it.
Yeah, it's just people. African, like melanocris. Is that a correct term? Scientific term? Yeah. People don't want to live with us.
I am not that person. No, I completely understand.
Don't have this thing. And when pinups here are becoming racist, and I heard with my own ears, especially with names, stuff like that, pinup for white being talking about unacceptance of pinups who are black.
I wasn't gonna go there, but I've had it too.
As I said, I'm Russian. I can't say it because we don't have and never had that stuff in generations, and you know, so we don't have it. Yeah. And for me, not only that shit is actually an extreme shock that people of different skin color, different races can bite into each other, but they get into groups, female groups, and they keep biting each other by quietly. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love snakes. I love spiders. I can't even compare like with snakes in a jar or spiders in a jar. You know why? Because it's a fucking offense to the spiders and snakes. Mm-hmm. With some people in this pinup community, you know, so-called pinup community, I just don't understand why they are doing it. I really don't. I mean, what? Okay, so let's imagine somebody of us will go there and say, well, okay, you look like crap. You are not worse, blah, 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 blah. And you go on that stage or whatever. How is that going to make you better or feel better or stand higher or?
It's not.
I mean, I just don't get it.
No, it's not.
Okay, and if it's not, and you don't have some kind of personal vendetta to that particular lady, I don't know, she took your boyfriend, she kicked your grandma, I do not know, Jesus.
Let me tell you.
Her son, not my daughter, whatever, if that's not personal.
Yeah, Pearl is hitting it right on the head. They're saying that it's constructive criticism.
Do that.
Right. I think that the thing that you keep bringing up, which is so powerful, is there's like the group of women, we won't say names, but there's like groups of women in the community that want to tell you how to be the perfect pinup, but they're the biggest hypocrites. And they'll say how you have to stand up tall and fix each other's petticoats and tell if the lipstick's on their teeth. And they want to tell you that this is what they do, but as soon as they get behind closed doors, it's open season to talk about everybody that doesn't live up to those.
Behind closed doors.
I see.
It's enough.
A lot of people won't come to me with it. A lot of times when I hear somebody was talking about me, it's behind my back because I don't think they have the balls to say it to my motherfucking face.
No, frankly, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about you
Ooh,
personally, but
trust me, they're out there. I was
no,
called.
I trust you.
Oh yeah,
trust you.
And that's the thing that
Whatever
I love
you
about.
were told, I didn't. The wide variety, like anybody else, you know.
Oh yeah,
It's
and that's when
just-
I started questioning, like you said, like why would I want to be in a community that as soon as I leave a room, they're
it's just
talking about
okay.
me.
It's and again, I'm a person who hate competing, and it's not the worst thing. Is it's not even about a competition. It's not about the contest. Let's say contests are off, whatever, COVID, whatever. Let's just put it aside. They don't exist. It's about who has better nails. It's about who took more fundraising, as if we're not doing it for the same cause. It's about who dared to say something to the CEO or VP, okay?
Yeah.
It's about who's wearing what shoes. It's about whose husband is better, whose kids are worse, and stuff like that. People, that is disgusting. And that's, I've just witnessed within it. I've been there since July 2019. That's all I've been in the pinup community and already faced all that.
Yeah.
So
Isn't
it's
that crazy?
a logical thought. It's a logical thought thinking that, okay, it actually confirms everything. Why exactly I don't work with business or staff and female staff, and why I would actually want to be in a community like that. But that's the top of the iceberg. But when you come home after that and you're really hoping that you're finding friends, I mean, not kind of friends that would lend you money, that would pay for you, that would actually, I do not know, have connections or stuff like that, or will hide a body with you, Oh, I'm kind of capable of doing it myself. So anyways, what I'm trying to say, yep. And it's Superior, Wisconsin.
You're only a hop, skip, and a jump for me, Elena. I'm just saying.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say, when you actually were hoping that you at least have somebody, I'm not saying to understand the depths of your soul, Jesus, nobody's wishing that, okay? But at least somebody maybe to listen and not to judge. And you're ending up with a pile of bullshit instead. That's when you come, like, going back to the point, like, okay, am I a masochist? If I am, I'm in the wrong group. I should be seeking BDSM, okay? That's where, if I'm a masochist, I should be going there, without 50s dress, without all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So
I'm going to tell you, we talk all the time, Elena, about how I feel like, because you hit it on the head, that pinup should not be just about what you wear. Like pinup that's like putting the makeup on the pig. It's like it's still going to be a pig. So when you dress 50s or you have the appropriate error and you do all this thing, that's just putting makeup on the pig. You're still going to be the pig. So you should still have integrity. You should still be a good person. You should still have all those qualities, regardless if you have your hair in the 50s style with the pinup curls, or if you're wearing the perfect 50s house dress or swing dress. It should still be the core person that you are. And that's why I like the community, because when I watched the girls that I got introduced with, which I was very lucky, I actually had a good pinup mom that introduced me to the community. That is what I loved about it. Yes, we got to be pretty. Yes, we got to dress up. But I like the fact that it was a sisterhood. Somebody else said that they never had sisters. I never had sisters either. And when I met you, Elena, it was during the domestic violence one.
Mm-hmm.
And You came to me and you just said, I just want to be supportive of what you're doing because this is a serious topic and what can I do to be supportive? You didn't care about competing. You didn't care about winning a title.
I don't like competing.
Yeah. She just wanted to just be there somehow to be part of what was the movement in the purpose of the contest. And that's when I was like, why don't you compete? And she said, oh no, I don't do that. Like I'm here to support. I'm gonna support you guys from a distance. And that's when it hit me. This is the kind of person I would want to actually compete. This is the kind of person I actually want because that is what I need is people that just want to support. Fuck the title, fuck the crown. I'm trying to raise money for women that are getting abused in relationships or men or whoever's abused. And that's what she saw. She saw the concept of what was going on. She was not getting turned on by the prizes and the glitz and the glamour. She wanted to really be there to help the people that were being affected by the abuse. And that's why it angered me so much when she told me about the community telling her that she doesn't dress right, that she doesn't have the right look, and that that's why it pissed me off because I'm like, those people that are actually judging her are not true pinups to me. Because you wouldn't do that. If you really
It's not really about like, yeah, well, you're going into certain club. I mean, you're joining a chess club. You're not gonna take a roller skate in there, right? Okay, you also gotta go with certain like, okay, why the heck did you join? If you don't are not willing to like, comply with the fashion and stuff like that. Yes, nobody's trained to put a fucking revolution in a pinup group, but you gotta have a little bit of, say, I don't know, patience, maybe some kind of humane patience to people who, for example, are good at one thing, but not very good at the other.
And there's
I'm
a
pretty good at
learning curve.
styling.
There's a learning curve. If you've
Exactly.
never
For
done it, you
example,
gotta learn it. Like
I have a total tremendous problem with my hair. I have a license for makeup. I can do any makeup, almost any, except for bridals, but that's by principle. I hate them. I don't do them because I hate them. Have my own reasons. Anyways, but with my hair, it's just awful. It's so awful. I mean, it's totally unmanageable. It's just lays the way it is. But like, instead of giving some kind of advice, instead of I'm not crossing your ways, okay? I'm not trying to take your place. I'm trying to find a little bit of human interaction with women, trying to convince myself that women actually can be supportive. I mean, why bothering so hard to actually make sure that me and those as myself would totally think otherwise?
Yeah.
But there is no way I'm ever going to that community. Thank goodness I don't have female friends, and I don't want any because all of them are loser bitches, okay? I mean, why creating such a thing out of a whole community?
Right.
So the
So
newbies coming in there would say, oh boy, what kind of sisterhood you talking about? That's a bunch of old egocentric ladies, to put it mildly, for trying to actually throw each other off the mountain.
Yeah. My significant other asked me the same question when he saw when we were going through the whole entire thing with the other club that we were transitioning from. And he was like, why do you want to be part of something that's so volatile? Like 1 minute everybody's friends, the next minute
And
everybody's
I totally understand his questions.
yeah, and then the next minute everybody's mean to each other. Like, why do you want to be on something that will be so fickle and like that? And I was like, because the ones that are good are really good. And so you got to like weed almost through all the muck to find that. And when you find it, it's a beautiful thing, but it's like exhausting to get to that.
And frankly, I would say 2/3 will drop on the way. I mean, because ladies, we're not exactly living in a perfect world. That ain't no happy 50s, so likable. when we all have like dudes who are bringing us our bread on the table, and what we do is actually wear corsets, make those pin-up face, and waiting for them at home. Everybody had a shitload on their plate, okay? And everybody has different problems. Somebody has problems with kids, somebody has problems with jobs, somebody have problems with health, somebody have problems with self-esteem, and somebody, unlucky fellow, has all of it together, okay? We can't judge, we don't know our other people's life.
Yep.
I mean, why it has to be a royal struggle just to be surrounded of decent people?
Yeah.
I just really don't get it. Why do you have to join the club, buy expensive outfits, do expensive photo shoots, or non-expensive, regardless, do all that kind of stuff to end up where?
Yeah.
All the way up in your own house because of doing it?
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
I don't know. And there is really no way to change it.
Yeah, you and I are on the same kind of wavelength because I don't have a lot of money either. And I think I was told by someone who had an extensive vintage collection that it's okay, like if you want to do vintage, modern vintage and stuff like that. And basically, I bought my first competition dress off of Amazon for probably $20.
For like 20 bucks.
For like
same
20
thing.
bucks. And I came in second place. Went to my second competition in Detroit, one of the largest pinup competitions there are in the Midwest. My dress was from, it was borrowed. That one was borrowed. Came in second place. I've never had a professional photo shoot. You guys always love what I put out there. I get a lot of compliments. I've gotten published, like you said, getting published. Never had a professional photo shoot. Never had a stage scene. Never had any of that. And I have people that will.
Professional pinup photo shoot too.
Yeah. And I've had a pinup come to me, I won't say names, but I've had a pinup come to me like, well, when are you actually going to really have a photo shoot?
I have that problem all the time because I do TFPs only. Yes, I do work with tons of photographers in the Midwest. Awesome guys, really awesome guys. I have quite a few publications, none of them in pinup magazines, but quite a few.
Yeah.
It's the whole problem, like, you know, do you even have a decent photo of yourself as a pinup? Like, you know what I really want to say, and why the fuck do you care? Okay, frankly, you know, it's just, and this will be not people from your club, but would be people that are in a pinup community off the internet who are not even in your friend list.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That was
it's like a gang almost. It's like an initiation. It's like almost like you have to go get beat up right quick before you can really be truly part of the gang. And I'm gonna wrap up stuff by just saying the one thing that Elena, you've taught me since I met you is, once again, what I would want to be as a pinup. So that's why when you kept saying, I'm not a pinup, I'm not a pinup, I was like, really? Like, why do you say that? And then when you started telling me things, I was like, that's not why I thought you were a pinup though. That has nothing to do with it. Like your photos didn't come into play, how you dress didn't come into play. It was just like your kindness and like how you were with your personality, I guess. So that's what I really want you guys all get from this whole entire roundtable is I need people to realize pinup is not about how you look anymore, especially in the day and age where people are getting shot outside their door. They're sleeping in their own bed and getting shot while they're sleeping, while people are dying of COVID or being so poor that they can't feed their family. Like when there's so many bigger things in the world, I'm not going to be focused on if I have the right dress on. But I am going to be focused on if I can give back to what I can do, what I can do. And I can't do a lot. I'm not rich, but I can do a little bit. And that's why I kept telling you, Elena, stop thinking that you're not a good pinup or that maybe you should just stop doing this or maybe this isn't your forte because you embody more pinup than what all these other girls that are telling you that you're not pinup embody. And that was why I did this. It wasn't just to put you on the spot. And I apologize if you ever felt that way.
I worked in politics long time. I'm not afraid of public speaking.
Great. So I was like, oh my God, I don't want her to feel like I put her on the spot.
No.
But the reason why
The fact that I
whole,
don't compete doesn't mean I'm afraid of public speaking or can't
great,
speak.
because I was like, I'm like, I don't want to throw this at you, but the
No,
whole
it's,
reason,
it's fine. It's totally anytime.
thank you. And that is why I appreciate all of you guys. I did not expect so many people to show up and be a part of this right now. I thought we were going to have like maybe 4. And the fact that so many came out to tell their story and to speak about how they feel lets me know that there is hope for change. And
Oh, can I ask something? So what
sure,
to do with those ladies?
the ones that act that way,
Yeah.
that
I
is
mean,
the
what the
biggest
hell to
question.
do with them? Asking for myself, what to do with them?
If as soon as somebody comes up with an answer, I would like to know too, because I don't really know. I don't know what you do
I
with someone.
swear, I don't want to be like them, to put somebody's names out on the public, to shame somebody on social media, to also bully somebody on social media. I mean, how would it be different?
Yeah, no, you can't. And that's what Perla was saying before.
Time, I don't want to hear that bull crap all
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
myself and those like myself. I mean, so
I mean, I'll let you guys have well, I'll try to wrap this up in the next like 5 minutes or so, but unmute yourself if you have something to say about like what Elena's saying. Like, what do we do? What is something
what do we do?
that we can, I don't know, unless you start really going around and chastising everybody that acts like a fool. I don't know what you
Yeah.
can do.
That's what I think we need to do. I think if you see something, say something. You know, we all rally for each other and, you know, try and lift each other up when someone puts us down. But, you know, say it right then and there. You know, this person is being nasty, and share it with everybody and point it out.
Mhm.
It's not fun, and I'm a very non-confrontational person, and you never want to feel like you're putting somebody on blast. But if they want to stand up and tell you something, then why not stand up and, you know, point the finger back at them, hold the mirror
Yeah,
up to them so
I
they can
agree.
see themselves.
I agree.
I was
Expose them.
always told to kill people with kindness when they're saying something mean about me. My dad always said, you know, you just be kind to them. You don't be mean to them. But if they are saying something that is really just truly mean, then stick up for yourself and let them know, hey, you stepped over a line. I also wanted to say something else, because this does really bother me with the community, that Stacy feels that she can't compete because of who she is. And that really, really upsets and hurts me in so many different levels. It's not fair for someone to have to feel like that because of their situation and their family situation. She should be able to be who she is. She
We
should be able to
actually
be able
should
to compete with
show
us.
the way, because it's not only a pinup problem, it's a big social problem in
Yeah.
general, not only in the United States, but in the world. It's a worldwide. And I think that actually we should, as a community of women mostly, we should be much more accepting than the other parts of society, okay? Because they actually, transgender people, LGBTQ, they are actually gender fluid, all inclusive of those, you know, actually they are fighting severe hardships in every possible level you can name and think of. I have transgender friends and it's awful.
Yeah.
Especially where it's like old school community, like say where I live, up Northland, it's hard.
Speaking
Hard
of
for them, it really is.
Michelle,
Yeah.
killing them with kindness. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Oh, who said my name?
I
Don?
did.
Okay, yes, Don.
Hey, I think it's really important for us to just be the example, you know, to make sure that we are promoting diversity, that we are promoting acceptance, that we are putting it out there that no, it is not okay to tell somebody that they don't belong, you know. And if we are the example, then that's going to be the example that everyone else needs to rise to, you know.
My
And if
mom
you,
always told me that. She's like, if you lead by example, you'll be amazed of how many people will follow you to the change.
yes, Yes.
I'm a big promoter of transparency. And, when I say, if you see something, say something, another benefit to that is, if somebody really doesn't realize they're being an asshole, because I think that's where a lot of people being nasty comes from, is maybe they don't even really realize they're doing it. If you address it right then and there, it gives the opportunity to resolve it and to, make that person maybe realize, oh, I said that poorly, or I'm mistaken,
Jake,
or something like that. And you're
I
handling it
swear I
right then and
wouldn't be
there,
so hopeful.
so things don't just blow up and get out of control in our own minds. Because
Right.
if I just sit on something, I'm gonna make it a lot worse than it was.
And then if you don't want to ever put yourself out there, I mean, you guys have seen me, I've gone live like a billion times. Every time I get aggravated, I always take it to live, because I always feel like, you know what, I feel like if you say something, if you see something, say something kind of thing. And my thing is, what are you going to say back to me when I call you out on your bullshit? Why'd you have to tell on me? Because that's the only thing you can say, because I'm not lying. So if you really don't like the fact of what I said, that's because you really know what I said is the truth, and you're embarrassed because you're looking like an ass. And now everybody knows you're an ass. So you're not mad at me for being a bully. You're not mad at me because I'm the one that did something wrong. You're mad at yourself because you're caught up in your own bullshit.
Oh yeah, and that bullshit has been made public in addition to.
And they don't want to be caught out on their bullshit. They want to be sit here in the public. They're like, I'm the perfect pinup. They don't want nobody to know that behind the scenes, you're telling people that they can't compete. You're telling people that they don't look good. You're telling people that,
You know what I also hate? Some group leaders actually are boosting at, not the club that I've been at, but I've seen it at the other club, boosting everybody who is not willing to treat them like a cult. Okay.
Yeah.
I've
heard about that a lot,
family? Has anybody seen that episode of the Family Guys when they're at the Pewter Schmidt's mansion and stuff? And there is a song there, "We only live to kiss your ass." And frankly, I hate that.
Yeah. And I would, and at any time, if you guys, that's why I always say, like, hey, step up. If you guys have any ideas, I've talked to you, Elena. You're a great writer. She has a lot of great ideas about great articles. This is another reason why I wanted this to happen, because she's working on doing some articles now. And I feel like everybody has something to offer. And yes, did I start the Candi Apples? In theory, yeah, I did. But am I the Candi Apples? No, because I wouldn't be shit without all you guys.
Look, a leader is a leader. A leader doesn't need to scare the shit out of the people who wants to follow that leader. Okay, because if that happens, you ain't no leader, you're a dictator. Okay, and that's a totally different story.
Oh, thanks.
Sometimes in pinup clubs, that's the way it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've heard a lot. Melanie's about to check out, and I know she's not feeling the hottest, so I do want to say, have a good night, honey bunch.
My phone is like at 11% too, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we stretched this to about 2 hours and 30 minutes. But I don't even think we need a part 2, because I think we got everything out, and I think I edit and chop and screw this and make this into the platform of an actual like interview and show, I'm going to be very proud of. There's some things I put out in the world that I was like, I'm very proud of this. Like, really fucking proud of this. Like, this is when I'm gonna get emotional, because you guys have all made me so fucking proud, because I kind of almost handpicked everybody that's in this club. The people that have survived, that are left, I've almost asked all of you to be in it, if you really think about it. And some people who left that I didn't ask, I went back and I asked you to come back. Am I not right, Dawn? So I have been trying to create a custom club that is what I need as a person, because I need you guys as my support. I need you guys to be that example for me. So when I want to go ham and curse someone out and probably not be so ladylike, I like the fact that you guys can bring me down and be like, that's not what we want to do. So thank you for being who you guys are, because every one of you brings something to my life, and every one you add value to my life. So the Candy Apples wasn't made just to be a pinup club. They were actually, you guys were actually custom made to be like my people and my tribe. And there's not that many times you actually get an opportunity to customize your tribe. So I just want to tell you guys that before we do go, that I really appreciate it. Really, really,
We
really.
appreciate you too a lot. And you know what? Since there are times of change right now, our society is going through the time of change. It really does in very many ways. Maybe you actually will be the one who will start change, a positive change in
I
community
hope
for a
so.
lot of categories of people.
I hope
Like
so.
Stacy, like one friend of mine who's a disabled pinup, and she's been accused of romanticizing her disability because she takes photographs with her wheelchair. I mean, some kind of asshole went that low life.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Well,
that's not right.
Okay, so it's really,
I
and she
think
had
it's really
actually to post it on her Facebook.
that's crazy. And you know
that's
what? If you
And it
guys
broke
ever
my
know
heart to
someone
read
in
it.
the
She had to
community,
post.
if you ever know someone in the community too that can really use what we offer, and if you guys have never noticed, we've had people leave the club, come back to the club, and everyone that's left the club that's actually good people never left out of bad terms. Like when Liz left, she didn't leave because she was upset. She left because she actually used the club so well that it catapulted her into this amazing career.
Yeah.
And she became so just overwhelmed with how great it was that she couldn't do it anymore. Same thing with Regina. It wasn't that she hated us or she was like, oh, I'm done. It's she was catapulted into this. I brought Regina in myself because in the group that she was in prior said that she wasn't dark enough to be Hispanic. So she felt ostracized because she was too light. And I was like, you know what? I don't care what color you are. You want to come in my group? And that's how
so.
like
What color skin do you have to be Hispanic?
I don't know.
I want to know. I'm done now because it's like with me, people do basically look at me when I say, you know, I do have a bunch of ethnicities within me, but I was born in Colombia. I'm Colombian, but I do have this and that. And then when they hear that my kids are Colombian and Irish, they look more white. So they kind of like, they're Hispanic. I was like, yes, they are. But
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was this certain, you know, color that
I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now, almost every person in this club at one point or another, the reason why we connected was because they told me a story about basically having racism, sexism, colorism. All of you guys have that in common, whether it's because you were a bigger girl, smaller girl, every one of you have that in common. We have all survived
or
discrimination.
you've been ostracized for who we are.
I just want to say straight discrimination. We've all been discriminated against.
I think tonight was really good because I think we did really touch on basically what I'm going to say tainted fruit subjects that pinups don't really talk about. Because yeah, a lot of them do want to look like they are like Miss Betty Pinup of the world, you know. Oh my God, I don't do this. Yeah, you do it. And it needs to be thrown in your face that you are a fucking cunt to other people. I said
you would be like, I'll see you next Tuesday.
It's like I finally said it because it has to come out because it's the bullshit that I've seen in the groups that I've been in. Dawn has seen me to the point of where I was like almost at a nervous breakdown because of the bullshit that was brought in. And it's not what the pinup groups are supposed to be about. You don't get it to where you have people like literally having anxiety attacks over
Oh
the
my
drama.
God, that was something I learned too at a competition. So many girls were like, I gotta go breathe. I'm having anxiety. And I'm like, are you nervous? She's like, no, but so-and-so's here. And the last time I saw her, she said, I'm like, what?
Why should we be having anxiety because of other females? In the
Yes,
pinup,
like that's what I was
community?
thinking. I'm like, there's somebody in a
That's
place right now.
why I don't compete.
That's crazy. You would love to compete with me, Elena. I'll make you piss your pants. I am hilarious to compete with. Trust me.
I just not really. I'm finishing that one on Saturday, and I'm done. Competing? No, that's really seriously. That seriously hurts my mental health. I just.
I love you so much. I cannot wait to meet you. Are you gonna do the pub crawl thing?
Yep.
The pinup pub crawl? Are you gonna do that?
We're gonna do the pub crawl.
Okay,
Yep.
I think I'm gonna do the pinup crawl. So if
We're
I
gonna
don't
do the pub crawl. We're gonna do the pub crawl. Hopefully, restrictions are going to be much milder, and we're gonna be doing pub crawl.
So just in case you guys are wondering what this is, the other organization that she belongs to, her name is Caroline? It's Caroline, right?
Caroline.
Caroline.
Yes, it wasn't the other organization. We were all the same club and got kicked out by a CEO of that
I wasn't
club.
gonna
Both
say
me
that
and
part.
Caroline.
I wasn't gonna say that part, but
for different reasons. For different reasons, regardless of which, but we used to be in the same club.
yes. So they're doing a pinup crawl here in Wisconsin. So if any of you guys are ever like thinking that later on in the year you want to get together, that might be a good opportunity. It's a huge thing where they just basically go bar to bar and they get pinned up and they do a pinup crawl. And I think it sounds super fun, and I plan on doing it.
There is like best dressed, best beard contest. There's tons of raffles. Probably it's gonna be a pinup contest too. At least I'm planning to suggest some as an alternative, let's say, to the other group. And I do not know how it's gonna be really. It's just we only have one single. We used to have two of them per year, Miss Motorhead and Lady Liberty. Miss Motorhead was on the base of a big Motorhead Madness car show, and that closed for good after 15 years because of this COVID. They decided not to have it anymore. So we just have one Lady Liberty, one contest per year on 4th of July. So there's got to be some kind of.
I was so sad. I was supposed to be in Lady Liberty, Elena. Did you know that? I actually made it into Lady Liberty and I had to forfeit because I couldn't do the stupid travel restriction. Stupid.
Yep.
It was stupid. COVID sucks ass.
Well, anyways,
yes. So I want to say thank you to everybody that came. Thank you so much. If we ever have another powerful topic, I suggest we do this again. This went very smoothly. I think everybody got, I got emotional with a lot of you guys because I didn't know a lot of the emotions that you guys had flowing through you. And definitely bring it to the table, bring it to up in the thing. Like I said, when you guys were talking about not having the alternative kind of pinups with like goth and we did it. We have total creativity, ownership of our club. We can do whatever we want to do. And that's what's amazing about when you start your own thing. We can do whatever we want to do. So if we want to make a transgender club, guess what we can do? If we want to make a club for just people that want to talk about the 50s, guess what we can do? We can do whatever we want with this club. So when you guys have ideas and thoughts, share them because we actually have any creativity what we want. There's no rules. Okay? And that's how I'm going to leave it.
Oh, there is actually one rule: to stay a decent human being.
Oh yeah, I will kick you the fuck out. That's like the one reason I will kick someone out. I've only kicked one person out of this club one time, and it was because they just did some shit that was too ignorant. I could not handle it. And I had to be like, I'm so sorry, but this is not how we're going to treat each other. So out of this whole entire organization, there's been only one time I had to ask somebody to leave. And you guys will still never know who that person is because they bowed out gracefully.
Oh,
And I let them.
you know,
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. And I gave them the ultimatum of either you can go gracefully or you can be asked to be removed. And you choose what you want to do.
So basically, don't be a twat waffle.
Yeah. Or you could be a twat waffle and then get poured syrup all over you.
That doesn't sound appetizing.
No, then you release the fire ants.
Okay.
No,
Don't give me ideas.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your night. I'm off to Atlanta tomorrow to go see my mamacita. I'm so excited.
oh,
I am so
have a
excited.
safe trip.
Thank you. She has surgery. So everybody put out positive vibes. Her surgery is on actually St. Patrick's Day.
Oh my God, my husband's birthday.
Is
Oh,
it?
wow.
Yeah. So it's on St. Patrick's Day. So I think she's gonna have the luck of the Irish. And
Fingers crossed.
yeah, and she's getting a double mastectomy. She decided to just go for the whole entire gusto. I'm proud of her. She's 74 and she's the strongest fucking woman I ever met in my life. So yeah. So guys, keep me in your prayers and my mom in your prayers, and watch me home sweet home. And wish me luck with that.
Sure, absolutely.
Thanks.
Oh, good luck.
Thank you. It's on the 20th. I'm excited for that because the pot has gotten up to the first 1, 2, and 3. I think the pot is $1,000 for your charity already. So that's a big deal. It's a big deal. And because of how much I love this charity that I'm doing it for, the small business, should I say, I'm just like, I'm trying to pull out all the stops. So let me just put it this way. You're going to want to stay tuned because I'm going so far back to my motherland. I might have a giraffe that walks across the screen. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm straight going back Africa.
Okay.
All right, you guys, I love you so much. Everybody that's watching and that took the time to watch this.
Thank you all.
Thank you for watching. And if you guys have any comments, if you guys want to share, please like. Please hit any of these beautiful ladies up and tell them how, if they're an inspiration, if you think they're beautiful, whatever, and just let them know that you guys are thinking about them because they're always thinking about you guys, believe it or not. These are pretty loving and giving people. So let them know sometimes. All right. Bye.